Hey guys, I'm here for another pop-up. You know me, I ain't got no boundaries, I ain't got no rules. I just kind of do my own thing. So we back. Last time I was doing a video and something crossed my mind about, when I started mentioning to people that I was nearing retirement or preparing for retirement or kind of in that last phase before retirement. I got some interesting reactions, and it got me thinking about, the things that people say, and kind of the sense you get of their expectations for your retirement. So I figured we'd talk about that a little bit today while I'm jotting down some thoughts and stuff that I have for some future videos. And so I said, while I'm sitting here, let me just go ahead and run this one. Okay, so hi friends, welcome back to my channel. As I said, we're talking about preparing for retirement today, and I've been thinking a lot about some of those things that don't really come up in your budget calculator or in your planning checklist that you go through. And one of the major things that crossed my mind is other people's expectation for your retirement. Yeah, I said that. For your retirement, some people may have their own expectations, and that's just, I guess that's just a part of being human, or at least that's my experience. Whether it's family, adult children that you may have, and maybe it's old friends, or maybe it's the fact that you may or may not relocate back to your hometown after you retire. Sometimes their expectations don't quite match your vision of your retirement. I'll let you think about that. Let that sit right there. What you think? Am I right? Okay. I could be wrong. But so today I want to talk about that and how you can start setting some gentle but clear boundaries and maintain those relationships that are healthy for you during that transition period. So let's face it, it's probably going to have to be you sitting down with some folks and having a pretty clear conversation with them about, what you plan to do, and also to let them know that whatever you plan to do at this moment doesn't set those expectations in concrete, right? When you're in retirement, you can decide or undecide that those plans are not working for you, and you can change them. I mean, you have options, right? To a certain degree that you've prepared for. So today I'm planning to do X, Y, and Z during retirement, but I have the option to change that if I want to, right? And let's just keep it real. Some people may be making plans around your plans. So I think it's good to have that conversation, that you have the option to change your mind. And you shouldn't have to have that conversation, but yeah, it's probably best. So let's talk about that shift that people don't talk about. Retirement, most people consider that to be a major life change, right? You feel that change, and the people around you feel that change as well. So you might hear some things from people like, so you free now. They may give you a month or two, but then they do kind of expect for you to kind of settle down, and some of them may be expecting you to take on some of those responsibilities that they have, especially if they're family, and I see that. I mean, I understand that. And you may want to do some of that, but not to the level of their expectations. And if that's the case, you just need to need to express that if you get a sense that that's the case. But some people may want to start doing some of those, they look forward to retirement so that they can start doing some of those things, sharing family responsibilities, etc. Like, for example, for me, my grandchildren kind of grew up away from me, states away from me. And so I look forward to visiting with them and spending time with them and getting to know each and every time I visit with them. I'm learning more and more about their individual personalities, right? And so I look forward to those visits. And I look forward to spending more time with them. But I'm not likely to be a grandmother that's where I don't know, I'm like a secondary parent. I know some grandparents do that, where they share the responsibility of taking kids back and forth to school. They share the responsibility of getting, more involved in their day-to-day life. I don't mind that when I'm available, and when they're available, because they have their own schedules as well. And I don't hate the ideal of that either. No, don't get me wrong. Because I love my interaction with my grandkids. But I don't anticipate, and I don't think my daughter even has the expectation that I would be like a secondary parent. I really want to maintain the dynamic of being their Nana. That's fun for me, and that's fun for them as well, the way we have our dynamics set up. I like to do the fun things with them. Of course, I'm not doing the high activity stuff that their parents do with them. I leave that, those experiences and things need to be built with their parents, and they have certain kind of memories with their parents, right? And I'm not trying to rob their parents of those experiences, but I do like creating things that are really more tailored towards what my relationship with them is. So I think my daughter and I have a good understanding of what that looks like in the future. And so that's not an issue for me, but I know that is an issue because I see, I hear on social media platforms, this whole thing about people complaining that grandparents are not what grandparents used to be, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, I don't know. That's really a tricky conversation if you have to have that kind of conversation, because it almost feels like the parent feels entitled to your services. And that's really not what grandparents look forward to doing, right? When they retire, to being, maybe some do, but not in a way that they feel obligated, more like in a way that brings them joy, and that's an option that they choose, not that you chose that for them. Because let's face it, you don't really sit down, most people don't sit down with their parents and let them have a weigh in on when you're going to have children and talk about how the responsibilities are going to be divvied up. That's really not a thing that happens on average, right? But I could be wrong. Some people may do that, but I don't think that's a thing that happens